Good evening, South Tama Trojan fans. Welcome to another night of volleyball here on Trojan Country. It is South Tama and Grinnell in a rivalry matchup on the volleyball court. This is the first time these two teams have faced off this season. South Tama has been already to the Grinnell tournament earlier in the year, but the two teams never managed to get face-to-face with one another. And so tonight, we get South Tama and Grinnell in their first WAMAC duel. Well, I guess I don't know for sure if Grinnell has ever historically been in the WAMAC before now, but these two teams, with Grinnell coming on over into the WAMAC conference to start this year, are now on their WAMAC conference schedule. And I think that means a more competitive slate for South Tama, so that'll be interesting to see tonight. I'm Darvin Graham. I'll be your host for this evening, joined by my co-host with the Mo-host. It's Hunter White. Hunter, how are you tonight?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic, Darvin. Great to see these two here in Grinnell for not only a rivalry matchup, but also a WAMAC conference. So a lot on the line tonight.
Absolutely, yeah. The WAMAC West, fairly wide open, and with several teams under 500. Benton Community, Benton Shellsburg, South Tama, and Grinnell all sitting under that 500 mark. And so really anybody's side of the conference so far, and it's exciting to kind of see how South Tama can progress through that. They come off a very exciting win against Williamsburg last week in 5 sets, come from behind, winning the last 2 sets, and was really exciting to be there. But we'll see if they can take that energy here into tonight. It's loud, and we got a big student section here, a nice crowd from South Tama trickling in as well. So I think that should bring some good energy here. And South Tama hungry for a win, absolutely. So we're going to say thank you to our broadcast sponsors tonight. They include Berkwood Village of Tama, Toledo, Salt Creek Wind, Mercy Care Tama, Iowa Premium, State Bank of Toledo, S&S Car Wash, Cruzy Phillips Funeral Home, Robach Lumber, Stein Robach Floor Coverings, Medicap Pharmacy, Mark Wesson Hoyer Law Office, Assured Partners Insurance, Appraisal and Realty Services, Sharn Weber's TFD Photo and Film, and all of the Trojan Country broadcasts are made possible by the Charlie Townsley Memorial. So thanks for being with us, folks. We have about 14 minutes on the clock here. Both teams' varsity squads getting warmed up. We're going to have a coach's corner coming your way here in a couple of moments. We're going to hear from Coach Ashley Rowie about her thoughts from that Williamsburg matchup. And then later in the pregame show here, we're going to hear from Mary Kate Frakes, one of the South Tama seniors. We're getting through the seniors on the volleyball team and doing a little interview pieces with each of them. Tonight, we're hearing from Mary Kate Frakes and some about her. So she'll have an interview and a piece coming up here before first serve. And then in here in about 10-15 minutes, we're going to have the start of this first set. So stay with us. Thanks for being with us on Trojan Country tonight. It's Coach's Corner here on Trojan Country. We're talking volleyball with STC head coach Ashley Rowie. Ashley, how you doing today?
Good.
All right, we're here at practice with you guys. Just talk to us a little bit about what you guys are working with the Trojans on this week. What are some of the kind of skills and things that you're trying to focus on with this team getting ready for a busy week?
We've just kind of been picking little pieces, serve, receive, getting our serves over, and just really working as a team and bringing each other together.
Yeah. A very exciting 5-set win for you guys against Williamsburg. It was a pleasure to get to call that one and be there for that. Talk us through your perspective. We talked to Amy after that one, but what were some of your thoughts about your team's performance and how they handled that comeback win?
Yeah, it was a very exciting night. We had some very high highs and some very low lows, but in the end, they came together to pull off that win and knew they could, as long as they bonded together as a team, that they could do that. And exciting to get that first WAMAC win here this year.
Yeah. Where do you think they kind of found that extra gear, or what was it that kind of pushed them back into the game after being down 2 sets and kind of being at that do or die moment?
We really came together and know that we have to work together as a team, and we're not going to accomplish anything if we're against each other. So we really had that, we're going to come back together as a team right now, and we're going to finish this together and do it for each other.
Yeah. And how do you feel like that sets up the rest of this? You guys have some WAMAC teams you have to play and plenty of weeks, plenty of action to go before the postseason. How do you feel that kind of sets the team up looking forward?
I feel like that's something that we can always look back to. We did the same thing with CCA. Yes, it was a loss, but they really battled and held their own against them. Again, at Williamsburg, it came back up. Even at tournaments, we've beaten taken sets from ranked teams. Yeah. So we've really dug deep and know that we have to work with each other. And
what do you feel like this team needs to do to kind of take that next step, get one or two more WAMAC wins or get an upset win somewhere down the rest of this schedule?
Right now, we're just taking it game by game.
Yeah.
Working on the little things that we see here and there and just kind of looking at the opponent and seeing what we need to do.
Yep. Well, let's talk about Grinnell. That's what we have here coming up tonight. You haven't seen the Tigers yet this season, but the last 2 times South Tama's played Grinnell, they've gotten wins. We've been competitive with them. Have you seen them this season, and what do you kind of know about this Grinnell squad?
Yeah, we've seen them at a tournament. We didn't end up playing them, but I didn't recognize too many of the girls, so I don't know if they had a lot graduate last year. Okay. I do know they have a new head coach this year, so they might have some things looking a little different, but they look like they still hit hard, and so we just got to kind of play our game. And
at this point of the season, do you feel like you have your rotation kind of set? Have you been tinkering with that much in these games at all? Or do you have kind of a rotation you feel good about?
I have a rotation that I feel really good about. I do have to give a shout out to the girls that they're willing to step up if somebody gets hurt and play a different position if I need to throw them in there. For example, Paisley Bro got thrown in the middle position for the Williamsburg game. Macy coming off rolling her ankle. So a big shout out to all the girls. Any of them are willing to step up and get in where I need them.
Yeah. And how is Macy doing? We saw her kind of go down and she came back into the game. Any lingering effects as she gets ready for Grinnell tonight?
Nope, we've been good. She's been doing her stretches and all those things to make sure that she's good and healthy.
All righty. Well, thanks a lot for the time, Coach. Best of luck. We'll be rooting for you.
Thank you.
Welcome back live to Grinnell High School. Darvin Graham and Hunter White with you here this evening. We're about 10 minutes away from first serve here between South Tama and Grinnell. Let's go over your starters first for the Grinnell Tigers. They got several hitters across the front. At an outside hitter position, it's number 5, Taryn Stallman. She's a sophomore. Then at another hitter position, number 6, Kinsley McClellan. McClellan is kind of the key returner from last year's squad coming onto this 2023 roster. She's a junior, leads the team in kills. She's got 53 kills so far in the season. Also second on the team in digs and second in the team on aces. Then at another hitter position, it's freshman number 8, Kendra Knowlton. Number 7, junior Kayla Lavender is the middle hitter for the Tigers tonight. And then in the back row, defensive specialist, number 2, freshman Caitlin Smith. Number 14 is the setter, Olivia Renzi. And rounding out the starters for the Tigers, number 10, the libero, Kennedy Harms. Harms is a junior. Across the front, the blocks leader for the Tigers, Aiden Gosling. She is slated to maybe come off the bench or possibly unavailable tonight. She's got 6 blocks on the season. Then it's Stallman right behind her with 5. The digs leader for the Tigers is number 10, Kennedy Harms. The aces leader is Olivia Renzi. And serve efficiency leader is Kayla Lavender. Last season, Grinnell finished 11-21 in the Little Hawkeye Conference. In 2 meetings with South Tama in last season, the Tigers lost both, losing 3-1 and 2-1 against South Tama. And in quick stats historical matchups, the Trojans hold a slight edge, 15-3 or 15-13, dating back to 2007. So it's really been back and forth between these two teams on the volleyball court, and I think we could see a very tight matchup here tonight as well. Hunter, I'm going to throw it over to you, and we're going to talk South Tama. We're just going to give South Tama's rosters real quick in about a minute and a half, if you can.
Absolutely. So starting off, we got senior middle hitter number 1, Kaylee Keene. Junior middle hitter number 8, Macy Welch. Outside hitter senior, Gloria Mullen. junior outside hitter number 7, Jeanette Cervantes. Senior defensive specialist, Mary-Kate Frakes, number 3. Number 4 is going to be junior setter, Skyla Beck. And for our libero, senior, number 12, Natalie Meek.
So South Tama running with much the same starting lineup as they have all season long. The Trojans have been fortunate with their health and availability in their roster. South Tama comes off of a thrilling matchup last Tuesday against Williamsburg. It was a 5-set victory over the Raiders. First set went to South Tama 25-20, and from there on out, Williamsburg kind of took control back, and South Tama came back and won the last 2 sets. So we're going to see if they can kind of reclaim some of that magic here tonight against Grinnell. And we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to jump over to our pregame interview with Mary-Kate Frakes. Don't go anywhere. Thanks for being with us here on Trojan Country. All right, we're getting to know one of our seniors from the STC volleyball team. I'm going to go ahead and let you introduce yourself, say your name, say your grade, and what position you play here on the volleyball team.
Hi, my name is Mary-Kate Frakes. I'm a senior, and I'm a right side hitter.
How long have you been playing volleyball, and what do you love about the sport of volleyball?
I've been playing about 2 years, and what I really love about volleyball is just the whole team aspect and everybody involved in it.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about that team chemistry, team bonding? I know you guys spend a lot of time outside of just the game atmosphere itself, doing practices, traveling. What are some of like the most fun team bonding things that you guys do?
I would say during the summer we get together and we have like team dinners, and I think that's really good just to bring everybody together before the season starts.
Yeah. Now correct me if I'm wrong, I think last year you were more in the kind of DS back row, and you're kind of switching a little bit between the front and the back. How has that transition been now for your senior year?
It's been pretty well. I've kind of been back and forth, but the coaches and everybody around me has been really helpful, getting me used to being versatile.
Yeah, yeah. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about your family. Kind of introduce who your family is, who you got at home, and how have they, as a kind of unit, have they impacted your career, either as a volleyball player or just any kind of your sports career, I guess?
My mom and dad are Tammy and Roy Frakes. And they have just been very, very supporting with all my decisions. I mean, I haven't always done volleyball. Yeah. I've done cross country and tried other new things out. So they've always just been supportive of what I'm doing.
Yeah, yeah. What has that been like for you, kind of going from different sports? Do you feel like you gained some benefit from trying different things throughout your high school career?
Yes, for sure. I think it's very important for anybody just to try different things, and I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, right on. Can you talk a little bit about any goals that you might have for the season as a volleyball player? What kind of are you looking forward to throughout this season from an individual standpoint?
For me personally, what I'm focusing on most is my block and making sure I'm very consistent with everything that I do.
What do you feel like the team as a group needs to kind of do to improve, or what are some of the things that your coaches have you working on in practice to like really take a step forward?
We've been really, really working on putting 100% in everything we do, from doing the little things like peppering and warming up to doing big drills.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about your hobbies, things that you're interested in outside of sports and volleyball. What are some of those things that aren't maybe school related?
I just like hanging out with friends on the side, and a lot of people that I play volleyball with are my friends, and yeah.
Yep. What has some of your coaches, what role have your coaches played in your development? Any memories about experiences with coaches or things that they have kind of given you as that coach to play a role?
The coaches are very, very helpful with pushing us to do 100% in everything we do, from June doing morning workouts really early, just preparing us for the season.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have any superstitions or things that you kind of have to do before or after a game or anything like that?
Not
or any,
really.
Routines that you've been into?
I usually just go by Casey's and get me a little drink afterwards.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. What advice do you have for younger kids as they are getting into their high school sports career and thinking about what they want to do? What advice would you have?
I'd say always try new things, be open to trying new things. Also be a very coachable player. I feel like that's always very good to have.
Yeah, yeah. Plans after high school? I know it's early in the year yet, but being a senior, I'm sure that's a big topic or a big thing on your mind. What's kind of the plan so far?
I plan to graduate a semester early and go to Iowa State and major in public relations.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks very much for the time, Mary Kate, and best of luck on the season.
Yep, thank you.
All right.
Coming through what I think, uncontrolled. stop the battle within your soul. You know it's all in.
Welcome back live from Grinnell High School. Darvin Graham and Hunter White with you here as we're just moments away from the first serve between South Tama and Grinnell. First time of the season these two teams are meeting, and we're glad you're with us. South Tama coming off a thrilling victory against Williamsburg last week. Grinnell, so far into their season, they are 2-13. They've gotten wins so far against Iowa Valley and Benton Community. The Benton win was a 2-1 victory at a Saturday tournament. And so far, the rest of the way, it's been a difficult haul for the Tigers this season. They return only a couple of players from their 2022 campaign. They have a new head coach this year. Coach Zach Charissa is in his first year with the Tigers. And we'll see how they match up with the Trojans. It's going to be Olivia Renzi serving first for the Tigers. In the front, Macy Welsh, Skylar Beck, Mary-Kate Frakes in the back row, Cervantes, Mullen, and Meek. First serve goes out of bounds. It will give the ball to the Trojans, and that will send Mary-Kate Frakes to the line to serve first for STC. Opening serve here, Frakes right down the middle. Diving save by the Grinnell center of the defense. Trouble at the net. It goes down for a point. South Tama up by 2.
It was already difficult for Grinnell. That just barely missed the in on that first serve, and they can't get that going on the set bump. They're just out of
position there. And so here's Mary-Kate Frakes' second serve now. Again, right down the middle at the libero. And that's Harms. Ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Trojans, and the Grinnell Tigers get on the board. 2-1.
Mullen just didn't have the angle on it. That was a good pushover by Grinnell, and so far 2-1 for South Tama.
Serving first is Kenzie McClellan, a junior. She's an outside hitter, kills leader here for this Tigers team. McClellan goes to the back line, challenging Gloria Mullen in the corner. Mullen had to make a kind of split-second decision whether or not to try and grab that one and dig it out. And I think it just got a little bit too late, and it goes out of bounds off of Mullen. Now we're tied 2-2. Here's McClellan's second serve. Mullen digs out the serve. Big swing there by Macy Welsh at the net. Kept alive by Cervantes. Now Cervantes will kill, and it's good. Jeanette Cervantes.
Excellent job from Cervantes there. She really has a lot of heat when she goes into that swing.
From the left corner, she found the opposite corner on the other side of the Grinnell court, and it went down for a point. 3-2 the score, opening set. And now Ashley Finch rotates in, serving for South Tama. McClellan returns it to Meek. Now Mullen swinging from the left corner. And it's called out of bounds.
Yeah, that just barely, if it
really
scraped the line, it was very close. But our girls are keeping up with it, 3-3.
3-3 in set number 1. Here's Kennedy Harms serving first for Grinnell. Serve returned by Welsh, and it's just a little too hard, a little too long down the opposite corner, out of bounds. 4-3. This is Grinnell's first lead of the game here. Harms' second serve. Mathis Henley into the game now for South Tama. Mullen again from the corner, fires away. Renzi saves it. Free ball kept alive, sent over to the South Tama side. Skylar Beck pushes it over. Now with Grinnell. Big swing there by Reagan Stensrud. Tip over by Welsh. Renzi keeps it alive. Knowlton. Now here's Mullen. She shoves it over. Easily picked up by Harms, the libero. Here comes another swing from Stensrud in the corner. Picked up. Nice volley going here. And it's good for South Tama. Ashley Finch kind of shoved it over. Found a spot in the middle of the court, and it went down.
I just want to point out, Meek had a very nice dig right in the middle of the court there. That really kept this rally going.
4-4. Tied in the first set. Macy Welsh serving for South Tama. Welsh is served straight down the middle. Stensrud on the attack and the block. It will be good for a point. So Stensrud sent a hard shot over to the back line. It got returned, and she was right there for the kind of dump over block in the corner. 5-4. No, excuse me, that went to South Tama.
Yes.
My mistake there. 5-4, Trojans lead. Ball on the South Tama side, a whistle.
Net violation on
South Tama,
Beck.
I believe.
Yep. Beck just got a little bit too much into that block there.
Into the game for the Tigers, number 9, Isabel Hart. And she comes in for Olivia Renzi, the setter.
Stallman back to serve.
Finch on the serve receive, a little touch over by Kaylee Keene. And Keene gets the kill. Little hook shot there almost. She was off of her back foot, but it went down for a point. 6-5.
Right in the middle, right where no defenders were for Grinnell. So excellent job from Keene.
Mary Kate Frakes checks in for Millie Mathis Henley. And Skyla Beck now comes to the line to serve for South Tama. Beck right at the libero. Here's an attack from Stensrud. Net violation against South Tama. Point to the Tigers.
Yeah, that time it was just Keene got a little bit too close to the net there on that right side and just couldn't make it happen.
6-6, we're tied up early in the first set. And now Caitlin Smith, she's a freshman defensive specialist serving for the Grinnell Tigers. Here's Smith's serve right down the middle, right at Finch. Easily digs it out. Returned over by Mullen. Big swing there from Grinnell. Now on the South Tama side, free ball. Mullen into the block. And another violation against South Tama there.
Yep, illegal blocking was the call, so we must have got a little bit too close. And
a lot of action at the net here so far.
Absolutely.
In this first set.
It's a very defensive game.
Smith still serving for Grinnell. Now Frakes, light touch, into the open. Point South Tama.
Nice.
Frakes just floated it over the defense there.
And it was also a good play there by Keene right there, who kind of faked it out right in the center, but we were able to get the point, tied 7-7.
Cervantes comes in for Finch, and now Gloria Mullen serving for the Trojans. Mullen right down the middle to Harms. Little push over there by McClellan. Now on the South Tama side. Big swing by Mullen. Dug out by Knowlton. Trouble at the net, and it goes down on the Grinnell side. McClellan couldn't dig it out, and it goes down for a point. South Tama up by 1. Back and forth we go here in this first set.
Absolutely. Just a lot of lead changes, a lot of defensive net play.
Mullen will get the ace as the serve goes off the back shoulder. And catch the number, that was number 5, Stallman, trying to defend there, and it goes out of bounds, so the ace will go to Mullen. And that's a 2-point lead now, 9-7 the score here in this first set. Big swing there, and it goes out of bounds. That was McClellan on the right corner.
Yeah, just a little bit too much heat on that one, and she's kind of shaking it off. She knew it was a little too much.
I'll tell you, South Tama student section out in force here tonight. They've got a fluorescent, a lot of construction vests, and I think one kid brought in a pylon.
Yeah, there's a couple cones in there, hard hats, and I just want to point out that our student section is at least double the size of Grinnell.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, served by Gloria Mullen. The Trojans lead 11-7 now. A little bit of a lead, biggest lead of the set so far. Ball on the South Tama side. Frakes firing into the corner, dug out by Knowlton. And a shot there by Kenzie McClellan.
Yeah, Mullen couldn't quite dig it out. It was just kind of a little late floater there on the right side and just wasn't quite ready for it.
Harms goes to the bench. And Kendra Knowlton comes on for the Tigers. Serve receive goes out of bounds. Point to the Tigers. That was Kayla Lavender on the serve.
So far, Grinnell's got us beat 3-1 on aces.
Here comes the second serve from Kayla Lavender. It just sneaks in the back line. Tough call there by Meek and Cervantes, who backed off the shot thinking it might go long, and it doesn't.
Definitely a game of small runs right now.
11-10 as Grinnell creeping back in. It was 11-7 a couple moments ago. Keene on the fake. Frakes the shot and the kill. Mary Kate Frakes gets one to go down. She's had a couple really nice shots here in this first set. And South Tama back up to a 2-point lead. Keene will rotate out, and Macy Welsh will come back in. A little more size on the South Tama front line now. Natalie Meek serving.
That's going to just shy of the baseline.
Trying to pin down the corner there on the opposite side of the court, and Meek's serve goes long. Very close, though. 12-11 the score here in the first set. Best out of 5 here tonight. Serve there by Renzi. South Tama returns it. Huge swing by Welsh. It would have went down, but I think some luck got into play.
But right there with that kill, Mullen just sent some heat. South Tama able to get that score because it went off the hands of the defender. Just
so
wasn't
on Welsh's
quite ready.
swing, she shot it into the back line. The defender couldn't really react. She pulled her head away, and it ricocheted so hard it came back onto the South Tama side of the court.
Yeah.
But Mullen saves the point, and South Tama leading 13-11. Another scramble on the sidelines there. Harms couldn't save the shot by the Trojans, and it goes out of bounds. Another point for the South Tama side, 14-11.
Absolutely. Knowlton just couldn't get the push bump on it.
Frakes serving. Free ball there into the block. On the Grinnell side, McClellan, light touch over the top of Frakes and Mullen. It goes for a point for the Tigers. 14-12 and a timeout. Timeout, Grinnell.
So far, Darvin, I've seen a lot of defensive play at the net, and of course, South Tama was trying to get, our taller girls up front there to really get some space because they got some big swingers on Grinnell.
We haven't seen, and the good thing for both coaches as they're talking to their teams is we have not seen a ton of serve errors. We haven't seen a ton of kill errors. The shots have been kind of on the mark. Some violations, some kind of net penalties, but so far it's been a fairly clean first set here and close. Like you said, we've jumped back and forth several times, and
Absolutely.
here South Tama's maintaining a 2-point lead.
Yes, so far this set we've been tied 5 times with 4 lead changes.
Wow.
So very competitive match in this first set.
It will be Grinnell to serve out of this timeout. Kendra Knowlton, no, excuse me, this is McClellan. Kenzie McClellan serving. Grinnell's got these little orange numbers that the 6 and the 8 and the 3 kind of all blend together. Here's McClellan serving. Dug out by Meek. Onto the Grinnell side now. Beck sends it over. One more shot. McClellan right up the middle. Mathis Henley digs it out. Here's Cervantes from the corner. Double block, out of bounds. South Tama gets the point.
Wow.
15-12.
And that was a big swing, too. It just went right off of the hands of the defender there.
Cervantes will come out for Finch. A lot of smiles on the South Tama bench so far. Attitudes and body language seem tuned in pretty good here so far. 15-12, Trojans lead. Little pushover by Knowlton. Finch will send it over from the back line to Harms. She keeps it alive. Big swing by Stensrud. Renzi to Stallman. Loose ball all over the court. Mullen just has to go behind her back to save it. Trojans finally get back in system here. Good save by Skyla Beck. Had a little dunk over and she dug it out. This time the shot from Kendra Lavender on the right corner. Goes cross court, attacks at Mathis Henley, and it goes out of bounds. Point Tigers.
So far right now, I've seen that combo of Welsh and Beck right there on the front line, just absolutely taking those big swings from Grinnell.
Kennedy Harms the serve. Mullen returning from the corner. And it's a point to the Tigers. Goes out of bounds, last touch by Gloria Mullen. 15-14 the score. 15-14, South Tama maintaining a 1-point lead here in this first set. We'll update that set ticker on the top right corner of your screen as soon as we move on past the first. Attack by Mathis Henley on the right side goes out of bounds, and that'll be a point for the Tigers, tying it up at 15. 15-15 as Kennedy Harms goes back to serve again. Down the middle goes Harms. Beck setting up Welsh, big swing. Welsh having trouble on that front line shot. She's sent a couple of them long.
Yeah, I don't know if she's just trying to send it off into the far corner. Either way, she might want to try sending it down the line now.
16-15, Grinnell up by 1. And the serve by Harms sneaks in. I thought that was going out of bounds.
I
off
thought
the
that
hand.
was too. That was up until the very end that it kind of squeaked outside the bounds.
So it'll be an ace for Kennedy Harms, and now the Tigers leading by 2, 17-15. Next serve from Harms, right at Finch, she digs it out. Mullen, big swing on the left corner into the block. Lavender kind of saved it. Free ball onto the South Tama side. Push over by Walsh.
Beck.
2 Trojans went to the deck to try and save it, but it'll be a point for the Tigers. So they sent the ball over, but I think it got tipped out of bounds.
Yeah.
And Coach Rowley's going to call a timeout and talk things over with South Tama. They now trail by 3. So Grinnell making a little push here.
Absolutely. Like I kind of mentioned earlier, it's kind of a game of mini runs. I expect that Coach Rowley's going to talk it out, kind of get the girls to calm down, and we'll probably get another run going, hopefully.
Yeah, just enough time here, kind of circling around that 20-point mark. And so the time kind of dwindling a little bit, but still opportunities here for South Tama. Trojans would love to get this first set win. That really kind of sets the tone.
Absolutely.
And gives them the breathing room, and we saw that against Williamsburg. Able to kind of set that anchor in that first set and have that kind of leeway if things go sideways on you in the middle of this match. You have that first one, and you can kind of take it from there. So we'll see if they can come back here.
Absolutely. A lot to ride on this matchup, rivalry conference matchup. Oh, man, just a lot to play for. Now Harms back to serve.
Harms, I think, on her 4th serve now. She had an ace a couple moments ago. Harms is served. Dug out by Mathis Henley. Mullen lops it over the front of the net. It rolls over, but it's good for a point. South Tama back to within 2. 18-16, Grinnell.
Yeah, that ball just barely touched the top of the net, and it just rolled right over.
Macy
Excellent
Welsh
job.
comes to serve now, as Meek goes to the bench for Kaylee Keene. Welsh, big swing by Lavender. Kill error by Lavender there gives South Tama a point, and now it's a 1-point game, 18-17.
Again, games of just little runs right now, so hopefully capitalize on this.
Welsh, big serve there into the back line. Stallman sends it to Stensrud, and Stensrud has trouble. Sends it into the net. Another kill error, and we're tied at 18, just like that.
Student section already getting right into it. That's what we need, especially now tied again, 18-18.
Macy Welsh now serving a 3rd time. Goes back to the middle, floats one over, a little off-speed hit there, and it drops for an ace. Ace for Macy Welsh, and it's 19-18, Trojans up by 1.
Yeah, Grinnell just wasn't really ready for it. It just kind of dropped right there in the center, in between the defenders there in the back line, and just couldn't get it.
Welsh again going back to that cross corner. That's Stallman. Stallman returns it into the double block. Now free ball on the South Tama side. Mullen, cross court, and it drops out of bounds. Point Grinnell.
That had a good angle on it too, and it was just, again, until the very last second that it went out of bounds.
Welsh comes out, and Natalie Meek checks back in, South Tama captain. This is Kendra Knowlton serving. South Tama free ball on their side. McClellan sends it to Lavender. Lavender tacks one down in the far corner, and Grinnell now up 20-19.
Yeah, Meek just couldn't quite dig that one out there in the back line. It was just coming over with a little heat, but just not quite getting it to where she needed to be positioned. Now
served by Stallman.
Meek to dig it out. Mullen to send some heat.
Big swing there by Gloria Mullen, dug out by McClellan. Stensrud into a double block, and it gets touched by South Tama, and it goes out of bounds.
21-19 the score in this first set. Still very competitive.
Oh, yeah. South Tama came out of that timeout, scored 2 quick points, but here Grinnell is pushing back on their own, and they're now leading again by 2, 21-19. Keene sends it to the Grinnell side. Stensrud from the right corner. Mathis Henley to the deck. Returned over to the Grinnell side by Mullen. Here's an attack by Lavender, and another shot from Gloria Mullen goes long and out of bounds. 22-19. Time drawing close here as we go to 25. First to 25 wins this first set. Mullen again, light tip over the block, and it's good for a point.
How about that change? For the last 3 times that Mullen sent it over, sent some heat with it. This time she just kind of floated it right over right, way past the defender timing.
We saw the same thing from Welsh at the line, and a little off-speed work, paying some dividends for South Tama. Here's Skyla Beck serving for the Trojans. Trailing by 2, ball on the Grinnell side. Stensrud fires, and it's out of bounds. Point South Tama.
This is the momentum that South Tama really needs. 22-21 Grinnell.
Beck on her second serve, trailing by 1. Stensrud again, going right to Meek. She digs it out. Ball high in the air. Now Mullen into a double block and out of bounds.
Mullen going back again to that left-hand side cross court. Just the defenders can't stop them.
And that point went to South Tama, so that was the return by Mullen into the double block, and that went out of bounds directly after that. And so we're tied at 22. We got a timeout on the court. Several timeouts here in this first set.
I wonder if it's just Grinnell trying to do the same thing that South Tama did earlier with that first timeout. Just trying to take a deep breath, try to stop the momentum that currently is favoring South Tama.
Got all kinds of volleyball action coming your way this week. On Thursday, we'll be home for senior night. South Tama welcomes in AGWSR. We'll be live with full video coverage of that game. Normal start time, 7:30 on that one. And then on Saturday, we'll be live from the Roundhouse for the South Tama Invitational Tournament. That starts at 8:30 in the morning. We'll have video coverage of the South Tama action throughout the morning and into the afternoon. Out of the timeout, Trojans tied with Grinnell in the first set, 22-22. The serve onto the Grinnell side. Return goes into the net. Kensley McClellan sent it just over the South Tama side, and it dropped right in front of Gloria Mullen. And it's 23-22. Grinnell up by 1. They get the ball back, and Caitlin Smith, the freshman, goes to the line to serve for the Tigers. Smith again, right down the line, out of bounds. We're tied at 23.
Wow, just an excellent job, heads-up play for our girls, because that was just kind of lazily going over, and again, just right out of bounds. So good heads-up play.
Gloria Mullen will serve now for South Tama. On the front line, it's Keene, Cervantes, and Frakes, and then Beck and Meek right behind. Mullen serve down the middle, bouncing around. Stensrud locates along the far sideline and gets the kill to drop. 24-23.
This is set point. Or set point.
Kendra Knowlton checks in for the Tigers. And Kayla Lavender, the junior middle hitter, serving now for Grinnell. Lavender, serve dug out by Meek. A little tip over by Frakes. Lavender's right there with the putback. Stensrud into the block. And that will do it. Set number 1 goes to the Tigers, 25-23. We'll see if South Tama can respond. We're going to take a quick break and hear from some of our sponsors. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back live from Grinnell High School. We're just ready to start set number 2. Grinnell takes set 1, 25-23. Give us a couple unofficial stats here, Hunter.
Absolutely, very unofficial stats here for set number 1. Keen with 1 kill, Frakes with 1 kill, Mullen with 2 kills, Cervantes with 2 kills. For our blocking up front, we kind of seen a duo of Beck, Frakes, and Mullen able to get some. Digging in the back line, we have Mathis Henley with 3 digs. And, of course, our ace so far for South Tama is Gloria Mullen.
All right, set number 2 coming up. Mary Kate Frakes will serve first for the Trojans, and we are underway. Serve dug out by Smith. Now on the South Tama side, free ball sent over by Cervantes. Renzi, nice block there by Welsh and Cervantes. Now on the Grinnell side, Meek picking it up. Back, trouble. And I think we're going to be too many touches here, but a kill error on Cervantes. She swung into the net. Point Grinnell.
Yeah, you don't really want to start off that way. It's just unfortunate set of circumstances. There was still a lot of good digs there over on the right-hand side from South Tama, so we're still in this.
Mathis Henley checks in for Frakes. Served by Renzi.
Wow!
And a nice kill up the middle by Macy Welsh. First point for the Trojans. She's fired up, too.
Absolutely. I mean, that was a big swing on it, too. Just absolute heat to the back baseline. Excellent kill.
Ashley Finch checks in for her first action of the second set. Cervantes to the bench. Finch sends it to McClellan. Renzi trying to set up a swing from McClellan, but it falls on the Grinnell side. Point, South Tama.
Yeah, Welsh had an excellent job getting up there right in the middle. As our setter, middle defender there, just awesome job.
Finch still serving for the Trojans, right up the middle. 2-1, South Tama leading by 1. Knowlton, little free ball over the net, returned by Mullen. Give and go, still back on the South Tama side. Light touch by Gloria Mullen. The defense collapses, but it drops for a point. South Tama leading 3-1.
Yeah, just an excellent job. 2 defenders there for Grinnell. We're diving for it, and both of them didn't quite have it.
Ashley Finch to serve again. Nice little run here by the senior. Finch's serve, picked up. Little tip over by Stallman. Harms, the libero. Renzi setting for Harms. Comes running in. Now Mullen into a double block, and it falls. That was Stallman and Kendra Knowlton coming in there for the double hit. 3-2, South Tama leading by 1. Smith will check out for McClellan. Welsh again up the middle, puts Harms on her backside. But the ball stays live. It goes back over to the South Tama side. Mullen shoves it over. McClellan to Renzi. Knowlton tips it over to Finch. Here's Gloria Mullen again from the corner. The attack is picked up by Harms. And Reagan Stensrud gets one right in front of Natalie Meek, and it goes down for a point. Tied 3-3 now.
That was a good effort by Meek there. Just had a hand down straight to the floor. Couldn't quite get the angle on it. And we're tied 3-3.
Kenzie McClellan serving for the Tigers. Meek digs it out. Mullen right to Harms. Stensrud. Little high shot over, returned by Welsh, now on the Grinnell side. Renzi setting up Stallman. Mullen thought she had a little shutdown dunk there, but it went out of bounds. Just a bad angle on it. 4-3 now. The point off of the out of bounds goes to Grinnell, and they lead by 1, 4-3. Service error from the Tigers. McClellan sends it into the net, and that'll give the ball back to the Trojans.
And we're,
go ahead.
I was just going to say we're tied up once again, so hopefully the momentum shift we need.
Macy Welsh serving for the Trojans. Tigers out of system, but they do get the ball back over to the Trojan side. Here's Keene over the block. Knowlton Several players kind of hitting the ground. It's on the Grinnell side now. Big swing by Kendra Knowlton. Now set up by Gloria Mullen, and she gets one to drop from the corner. Trojans fired up. Mullen and Welsh looking really focused here and determined.
Yeah, there was just a little scrimmage there, right there. South Tama was just able to get it up and over.
Welsh serving again. Trojans leading 5-4 the score in this second set. Kaylee Keene pops it into the Grinnell side. Stallman into the double block, and it goes down for a point. Trojans leading by 2. Macy Welsh on a nice little run here. There's Welsh again from the right corner. Right at Harms. Stensrud down the line. Finch wasn't there, and it went down for a point.
Yeah, the fake out by Knowlton there over on the left-hand side. Just really good fake out. Our girls weren't quite ready for it.
Kennedy Harms, the libero, going to the back to serve for the Grinnell Tigers. Trojans lead 6-5 here as Harms set to serve. Serve right at Finch. Ball popped up near the net. Keene, hard shot right down the middle, and it goes long and out of bounds. Point to the Tigers, makes it 6-6.
That was just unfortunate there at the center there. Mullen didn't quite have the apex on it, kind of pushed it up and out of bounds that way.
Serve by Harms. Trouble at the net. Ball on the South Tama side. Meek will finally pass it over to the Grinnell side. Renzi setting up Stensrud again along that near sideline. Reagan Stensrud's had a few kills drop there.
Yeah, South Tama's going to have to try and figure out how they're going to do that mismatch height because she's standing pretty tall.
Stensrud at 5'10".
Yeah.
Kind of working against Beck along the front line, and
5'3".
Beck only at 5'3". And a kill for the Tigers. Ball went right to Finch. And that was Kendra Lavender on the kill. Just kind of overwhelmed Finch a little bit there, and it dropped for a point. 8-6. Tigers lead by 2. And here's Harms right down the middle to Finch again. She digs it out, sends it to Mullen. Mullen's return picked up by Renzi. Stensrud behind the back, sends it back over to the South Tama side. Now Keene on a big swing. One-handed shot keeps it over for the Tigers, still alive on the South Tama side. Touch over by Mullen, and a whistle and a point for the Trojans.
I believe it was a net violation on Grinnell right there. Over on the far side, it looks like number 5. It's so hard with these Grinnell numbers.
It is, yep. They're really, it's hard to distinguish from the front.
Yeah, it was Stallman who got that error.
Skylar Beck serving for South Tama. Trojans trail by 1. Ball gets returned to the South Tama side. Mullen tries to punch it over. Stallman and Lavender were right there, shutting down the attack. Point to the Tigers. 9-7 the score here in set number 2. South Tama lost set 1, 25-23 after a very much back and forth opening set. This is Taryn Stallman serving now. Ball gets returned over the Grinnell side. Stensrud, big swing from the corner right at Meek. She goes down and digs it out. Again, that left corner. It's a point for the Tigers. And a timeout.
South Tama is going to take that, talk it over. It's been a good run so far for Grinnell.
Isabel Hart on that shutdown on the far corner.
Yeah,
and
definitely not as much of a back and forth as we've seen, at least point-wise, but definitely a lot of scrimmages going on right there at the net.
Grinnell kind of pushed their way into the front here, and they haven't really relinquished it much. South Tama's stayed in it, but it has been Grinnell's set here so far. Trojans looking to kind of get on a run and put some pressure onto Grinnell.
Yeah, at this point, it's going to have to be how are we going to deal with that left-hand side, or I guess our right-hand side there, just with how Stallman and all of them are just really kind of splitting our defenders there right at the net.
All right, it'll be Taryn Stallman to serve for the Tigers coming out of this timeout. Stallman's serve goes down the middle. Miscommunication between Finch and Frakes, and it drops for a point. That'll be an ace for Stallman. On the court for the Trojans up front, it's Kaylee Keene, Gloria Mullen, Skyla Beck, and the back, Finch, Frakes, and Natalie Meek. Here is Stallman's second serve. Now 11-7 the score. Picked up by Frakes. Frakes with the swing and a point. Mary-Kate Frakes gets one to drop from the left corner. And now Jeanette Cervantes will check in, rotating in for Ashley Finch. Gloria Mullen to the bench.
Or Gloria Mullen serving.
Excuse me, yeah. Gloria Mullen to the service line. My fault there. Stensrud fires right at Mullen. She picks it up. Cervantes goes out of bounds to save it. Shove over by Keene. Ball kept alive, and it goes down. Point South Tama. Good effort there by multiple Trojans. Cervantes goes out of bounds to save the one return, and then Keene punches it over on the next round.
Yeah, Grinnell was just absolutely scrambling there. Couldn't quite get the angles on it. Kept on sending it further back past the net.
Yeah.
Excellent point. Hopefully this is what we need.
We'll see here. Gloria Mullen will serve again here. The captain for Grinnell, McClellan, talking things over with the official, something she didn't like. It will remain 11-9, a 2-point lead for Grinnell here in this second set. Mullen serving. Goes right to Stallman. Now Stensrud again. Just punishing on that near corner.
Yeah, definitely a weakness for South Tama. She's been getting at least, I believe, 4 or 5 kills just on that, and she sends it to the same spot too.
Yeah.
Every time. She's going to check out.
Caitlin Smith serve. Returned by Frakes. And now McClellan will get a kill. She rotates into that same spot. It doesn't go straight down the line. It goes diagonal this time, but it does find it a spot inside the South Tama court, and it will drop for a point, 13-9. Critical moments here for South Tama as they lose that first set. Have some opportunities, but they do not want to go down 2-0. Here's McClellan into the double block. That was Frakes and Keene sending it back over. The Trojans send it long. I think it was Meek on that return, and it just went high and out of bounds. She knows she didn't like that one when it came off the hands, and it'll be 14-9. Grinnell widening their lead here in the second set. Serve returned by Cervantes. Ball ricochets around, almost dropped, but it got sent back over. Now Frakes on the kill. Popped back up, alive on the Grinnell side. Stensrud tried to lightly touch it over, but Keene and Frakes were right there, and they dumped it back down for a point. 14-10.
The biggest thing for South Tama right now is going to be trying to get Harms. Her digs have been just wonderful tonight.
Yeah, they haven't been able to kind of hunt a player in the back line. And that was Kayla Lavender on the attack. Cervantes was there to block, but it just went out of bounds. Bad angle on that one. 15-10, a 5-point lead again for Grinnell. As Lavender will rotate over to serve. Welsh, big swing up the middle, returned. McClellan against Frakes on the corner, and it goes down for a point. So Stensrud having some success there in that right corner, and McClellan has gotten a couple there as well. 6-point lead now for Grinnell, 16-10. Beck setting up Frakes, goes right into the double block again. That was Knowlton and McClellan. And Frakes' ball went down in front of her. 17-10, South Tama calls another timeout.
Yeah, the biggest thing right here that South Tama has to do is just try and find someone in that Grinnell back line to kind of get the weakness going, because so far Harms has been absolutely all over this backcourt.
They have, yeah. They've done a good job on their back line. And South Tama has kind of hit a few out of bounds as well. And so while we have a moment, we'll say thank you to some of our sponsors. They include Brookwood Village of Tama, Toledo, Salt Creek Wind, Mercy Care Tama, Iowa Premium, State Bank of Toledo, S&S Car Wash, Cruzy Phillips Funeral Home, Robach Lumber, Stein Robach Floor Coverings, Medicap Pharmacy, Mark Wesson Hoyer Law Office, Assured Partners Insurance, Appraisal and Realty Services, Sharn Webbers, and TFD Photo and Film. Coming out of this timeout, Grinnell leading 17-10 on the court for the Trojans. Beck, Welsh, and Frakes up front, and then Cervantes, Mullen, and Meek in the back. Here's the serve from Lavender. It goes out of bounds, long. Trojans get a much-needed break there, and they'll get the serve. Frakes will pick it up and serve first here. Breaks the serve up the middle. Will dump over, defended well by the Trojans. Cervantes sends it back over to Harms. McClelland fires to the corner. And a point. That was just a strong shot there by Kinsley McClelland. She overpowered Meek.
Absolutely.
And it went out of bounds.
Yeah, Meek, she got there right on the floor. Just couldn't quite get the angle on it. Too much heat on that one.
And now Renzi serving for the Tigers. Serve picked up by Meek. Now Cervantes fires into the middle of the court. Returned by the Tigers. Mathis Henley to Cervantes. And her kill from the corner goes long and out of bounds.
No,
did we get that one? We picked that one up.
Went just in. That was just in. That was right on the line.
So good job there by Cervantes on the swing. 18-12 the score. Ashley Finch to serve. Finch's serve gets picked up by Harms. Stallman returns it back onto the Grinnell side now. McClellan right to Finch. She digs it out. Ball sent over to Mullen. McClellan pops it up. Returns it. Nobody. Oh my goodness.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Meek came diving in. The ball got popped up, but it's going to be called a point for the Tigers. Meek kind of tried to argue her case with the official, but it will remain a point, and so that'll be 19-12. That looked really close.
Yeah, it looked clean off from my viewpoint here at the stands. But Meek's going to return this one back. Can't quite get it as Beck just didn't have the angle on it. Pass it over.
The serve by McClellan couldn't be returned by the Trojans, and now it's a 8-point lead for Grinnell here. They have really been putting on the gas pedal here in this second set, 20-12. Bodies go flying, and the ball finally goes to the ground and was off the serve by McClellan. Stallman will rotate out for Harms. And McClellan serving again. To Mullen. Beck, back to Mullen in the corner. Popped up by Harms, the libero. Stensrud taps it over now on the South Tama side. A big swing there by Mullen. Into the net, no good. Point Grinnell. 10-point lead.
Oh man, just getting just some of these just really difficult, in my opinion.
Yep, 10-point lead here for Grinnell. They've been a pretty well-rounded unit here. I haven't seen, like we've said, I haven't seen too many weak links in this Grinnell lineup so far.
Absolutely.
Here's Welsh on the serve return to Renzi. Sophia Loudon getting in her first action of the game. The ball gets returned to Olivia Renzi, and it goes out of bounds. Point South Tama.
Welsh finally got a good kill. Send it into the back line. They weren't quite ready for it. Point South Tama.
And Lauren Loudon coming in, so some new faces into this lineup for Grinnell. We'll see if South Tama can maybe capitalize and find a mismatch somewhere. Welsh to serve. 22-13 is the score. Second set. serve return went into the net, point South Tama.
That time it was Mullen and Keene as part of your front crew there, able to get that block.
Macy Welsh serving again into the middle. Ball gets sent long and out of bounds. That was Riley Imhoff. So kind of a full second unit on here for Grinnell. Three players we haven't seen so far. Stensrud dumps it over. Free ball on the South Tama side. Mathis, Henley, and Beck didn't communicate about who was going to go after it. They both went for it, and then there was nobody there to kind of pick up the loose ball. 23-15. Grinnell looking to close this thing out. And maybe Coach Ceresa seeing an opportunity to get some players a little bit of rest going into that third set. Kind of feeling the momentum for Grinnell here as South Tama gets a point and a kill. 23-16 now. Frakes was the one on the attack. Skylar Beck serving for South Tama.
Wow, what
and
a
Beck's serve
dig out.
Got popped up right in front of the net, and the ball just kind of rainbowed. And I thought South Tama thought it was going to go out of bounds, but it tipped into the far sideline there. And 24-16 set point.
Looks like Stallman's going to come back in and serve. So set point for Grinnell.
Stallman serve, picked up by Frakes. Frakes returns it, dug out by Harms. Nobody home there in the front corner, and the ball drops for a point. 24-17, Trojans stay alive. Ashley Finch will come out. Jeanette Cervantes rotates in. And Gloria Mullen comes to the line to serve for the Trojans. Mullen right to the back line. Picked up by Harms. Big swing there by Lavender. Little shove over by Cervantes. Harms had to go out of bounds. Still alive on the Grinnell side. Stensrud to Cervantes. Keene, the fake, the tip over by Frakes, and it's good.
How about that to change it up? Just a little fake out right towards the center of the net, and then just gets a nice little layover from Frakes. Excellent job.
24-18, still alive here in the second set. Gloria Mullen's serve, picked up by Harms. Stensrud, misdirection, and it falls for a point. The final score in set number 2, 25-18. That was all Grinnell in that one. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say we did have a little run, about 6 points there, so still something to be proud of there going into this third set.
You bet. We'll be right back after a quick break for set number 3. Welcome back. We're live for set number 3. South Tama trailing 2-0 against Grinnell here on the road tonight at Grinnell High School. The score in this first set, 25-23 Grinnell. And just moments ago, the finish of the second set. Final score there, 25-18. Thoughts as we head into set number 3 here, Hunter?
Yeah, definitely. We got to protect our back line. Our right side has been exploited a lot tonight.
Yeah.
The biggest thing here is going to needs to be stopping that Grinnell back line. Harms has been all over the court and getting balls that should be kills against any other team. So hopefully start off strong on this first point. And if we can get that going, hopefully the momentum can shift here.
Yep. Starting for the Trojans, starters back on the court here. Well, no, we're going to have, let's see here. Finch is going to start out there. So out there now, we've got Keene, Frakes, Beck, Mullen, and Welsh. We got too many players on the court. I think they're trying to figure out how they're going to rotate in.
Yeah.
We'll see here. On the court for the Tigers, it's Renzi to serve. Harms, the libero, Knowlton, McClellan, Stallman, and Caitlin Smith. First serve here, underway, third set action. Ball on the South Tama side. Big attack there by Kinsey McClellan, but it goes short. South Tama point.
That was good block by Beck there, so starting off strong.
1-0, South Tama up first. And a service error by Skyla Beck into the net. Point Grinnell.
That's an unfortunate set of circumstances. Hopefully we could have had a little run going, but things happen.
Critical moment there as South Tama down 2 sets, needing to come out and get this one to stay alive here tonight. Kinsey McClellan serving, tied 1-1. Struggle at the net, ball on the South Tama side. And South Tama lets it drop. Just miscommunication again between Keene and Beck. And Trojans look a little out of sorts here so far in this opening moments of the third set. Down 2-1. Grinnell serving. McClellan serve. Drops in the back line, and it's an ace.
Yeah, that was right on the baseline because my eye line's right with the sight line there, and it just right in the middle of the service line.
3-1, Grinnell leading. Kinsey McClellan serving again for the Tigers. This time it's picked up by Finch. Frakes sends it over. Set for Stensrud. That looked long to me, but it was on the far sideline. It got called inbounds.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I had a player kind of covering, but just the angle on it just didn't look right. But it happens.
4-1, Grinnell on top. Solid run so far by Kinsey McClellan. She's set up right in front of the South Tama student section. It's been pretty loud here tonight. 4-1, the score. Ball on the South Tama side. Popped over to the Grinnell side now. Stallman sends it over to Finch. Shove over by Beck. Renzi setting up Stensrud in the corner. Goes high near the rafters. Down finally to Finch, who sends it over to the Grinnell side. Knowlton. And South Tama finally gets it tipped back over. Stensrud into the block. Over top. Finch digs it out. Mullen will attack. This one does hit the rafters, but it comes back to Renzi. Stensrud sends it over. Meek the dig. Back and forth we go. Ball on the Grinnell side. Stensrud again. This time picked up by Mullen. Off the top of the rafter. South Tama keeps it alive. What a fun volley we got going here. Stensrud again. Dug out by Finch. Back to the Grinnell side now. Stensrud again from the corner. Now on the South Tama side. Frakes, fires. And it goes out of bounds. Longest volley of the night ends in favor of the Tigers, and Coach Rowley will take a timeout for South Tama.
Yeah, that was a very nice rally. I think already, just in that 1 point alone, I tallied 3 digs for South Tama.
Yeah.
So
good effort, but
it
didn't fall South Tama's way, and we're trailing now 5-1 in a do-or-die set 3 here. Reminder, we've got more volleyball coming up this week. On Thursday, we'll have AGWSR. That'll be senior night for the Trojans. And then on Saturday, we'll have the home tournament. In that one, South Tama will welcome in Belle Plaine, East Marshall, Lisbon, Perry, Waterloo East, Mid-Prairie, and Grinnell. So South Tama might get another crack at Grinnell here, depending how that tournament shakes out on Saturday. The Tigers, next up for them, they go to Newton, or they host Newton on Thursday, and then they come to South Tama on Saturday. Out of the timeout, Grinnell serving. Serve gets touched on the South Tama side. It goes out of bounds.
Yeah, it was just Beck and Mullen miscommunicated there on the right-hand side, and the ball just dropped.
McClelland again, this time up the middle. She's led the way the whole way in this early going of the third set. Free ball on the Grinnell side. Stensrud into the block. It ricochets off of the hands of Kaylee Keene and Mary Kate Frakes, and it just went sideways and dropped for a point.
So just as a reminder for myself and the viewers at home, we do play to 15 if Grinnell reaches to 15 first.
15 if it's a sudden death fifth set. But if we're in this third one, we stay to 25.
Okay, that's my bad.
No problem at all. So another point for the Tigers, 8-1. And it will remain in the hands of Kenzie McClelland. She has had every serve so far, and they're up 8-1. A dump over by Stensrud. The return from Finch couldn't quite make it all the way across, and another timeout. So on this run by Kenzie McClelland, the Tigers have already forced South Tama into 2 timeouts, and the Trojans clearly frustrated. Natalie Meek trying to talk to her teammates here, find some focus and try and make a comeback here. But
yeah,
a pretty big hill to climb at this point.
And Grinnell is dancing.
And yeah, the Tigers over there doing a little line dancing, as you can hear Cotton Eye Joe pounded through the overhead speakers.
Yeah, definitely.
I hope we do someday figure out where did Cotton Eye Joe come from. I have no idea.
You know, that's an excellent question.
We're not going to figure it out tonight, but
nope.
You know, God willing, maybe someday. All right, out of the timeout, Trojans trailing 9-1 in this third set. Kenzie McClelland, their standout junior captain, serving over to Frakes. Meek returns it, now onto the Grinnell side. Stensrud, fastball right at Finch, and nobody home there. It drops for a point.
Yeah, definitely frustration on the South Tama side. Just can't quite get anything going for our favor tonight.
Trojans a little tight here in this third set. 10-1 now. McClelland still rolling. Serve gets returned by Frakes. A little joust at the net on the South Tama side. Frakes from the corner. Tipped over by Stensrud, right again at the back line. And she goes right at Finch, and it drops for a point.
Again, miscommunications, frustration on the South Tama. Just can't get nothing going.
11-1 now. McClelland having a fantastic run at the service line. Finally, it stops. Gloria Mullen with the attack from the right corner gets a point to drop, and it's 11-2. Finch will check out. Cervantes comes in for the Trojans. And Gloria Mullen will serve now for STC. Renzi setting up Stensrud. And Stensrud has been good all night. She's going to be the kills leader tonight, I have a feeling.
Absolutely.
And she drops one in just in front of the back line there on the South Tama side. And the Tigers get the ball again, 12-2.
Absolutely. Just they've been taking advantage of that right side of ours all night tonight, and definitely doing a good job of it.
Harms will get the ace as the ball rolls over the net. Nobody home in the middle of the defense for South Tama. And the thread kind of coming unraveled a bit here for the Trojans midway into the third and final set. Here's Cervantes from the corner into the block. Kept alive by Stallman. Over the back return from Harms. And it was another point for the Tigers there.
Yeah, Keene just got it a little bit too close to the net. Didn't quite hit it. Ball went right into the net.
And now here's Harms serving. Returned by Cervantes, picked up by Harms. Renzi setting up Stensrud. Meek to Mullen. On the Grinnell side, Stallman, little tip over. Diving save by Meek. It just kind of sidewinded its way over the net. Now back on the South Tama side. Cervantes right at Harms. She pops it up. McClellan, big swing right at Mullen. She handles it. Pass over to the Grinnell side from Frakes. Renzi to Lavender, and Lavender gets one to drop. Right at the front of the net. Kayla Lavender. We got a lot of K names here. I'm just looking at this. We got Kenzie, Kayla, Kendra, and Kennedy. Also Caitlin. So all but 2 of the starters with K names. Cervantes on the return there, swung into the block, and it fell on the South Tama side. Point Grinnell. 16-2 the score now. All Grinnell here in this third set. South Tama needs to win this set to stay alive here in the match tonight. The serve. And the Trojans call another timeout as the ace drops.
Yeah.
For Kendra Knowlton.
Meek was able to get that serve dug out just a little bit, but as it was leaning over to the left-hand side, Mullen tried to run all the way across cross-court, couldn't quite get it.
Reminder, we will be live for Friday Night Football over in Williamsburg this week. Tune in for full video coverage of the Williamsburg-South Tama game this Friday night. 7:30 is the varsity start. A reminder, homecoming week coming up next week for South Tama. It's also going to be homecoming for Williamsburg this Friday, so a kind of a string of homecoming events, home and away. And so South Tama will have their annual homecoming next week, Friday. The parade scheduled for Thursday night as usual. It will be run through downtown Tama, the similar parade route as the Lincoln Highway Days parade. And then coronation this year will be shifted to Friday night at the football game. So instead of a dedicated kind of coronation ceremony, South Tama will have their homecoming court king and queen coronation between the freshman and varsity football games. It'll just be right on the track there. So some things coming up here next week for South Tama. Coming out of this timeout, Trojans trail 17-2. Kennedy Harms to serve, and she's going to get an ace right at Cervantes, and Cervantes couldn't quite get the return to go. It goes into the net. Point Tigers, 18-2. All Grinnell here. Kennedy Harms again. Goes back to the same spot. Frakes floats one over. Grinnell collapses, gets it to get in the air. And that time it was Caitlin Smith. And Smith punches one over.
Yeah, that was just kind of like either a mishit kill or something, but it had enough curve and enough downforce that it stayed in bounds.
19-2 here. Tigers serving. Harms. Serve returned by Cervantes. Now Smith firing from the right corner, picked up by Kaylee Brown. In for her first look tonight. Stallman into the block. Lavender sends it back over, dug out by Beck. Renzi, a little one-handed shot by Stallman, gets it back to the South Tama side. Here's Cervantes, big swing there by Jeanette Cervantes, and it goes down for a point. Only the third point of this set here, 19-3. Trojans will serve. Natalie Meek at the line.
Hopefully this can be a fire going for our girls, so hopefully we can get some kind of run going.
Yeah, we'll see. Natalie Meek. Serve off the backhand of McClellan, but it will stay alive. It gets sent back over eventually. Welsh tips it over. Diving save by Harms. And the kill by Smith is no good, out of bounds. Point South Tama.
Of course, I've seen the most that our girls have gone, you know, point-wise. It's been 4, but hopefully we can get a little more. Keep it going.
There's an ace by Natalie Meek. She floats one in along the back line. And it's 19-5. First back-to-back points for South Tama here in this third set. Here's Meek again, up the middle. Popped up by Smith, returned. Now live on the South Tama side, Cervantes drops one in the middle, and Grinnell kind of losing focus a little bit.
Yeah, South Tama's not going to hand it to him on a silver platter, that's for sure.
19-6 the score. 3-point run here by Natalie Meek. She serves again. Right to McClellan. Smith on the right side. Returned by Cervantes. Smith again, right to Brown. And it will be called out before it got returned over to the South Tama side, and so that'll be a point for the Trojans.
Yeah, it went past that upright stick, and you can't do that.
19-7. Here's Meek again. Right to Harms. And out of bounds, McClellan. Big shot down the middle, and it went long and out of bounds. Nice run here by South Tama as they've kind of got a do-or-die situation in front of them. Again, the shot by Meek. Little dump over, trouble at the net from Welsh, and that'll be a point for the Tigers. That was Kayla Lavender, excuse me. Kind of jousting with Welsh, and it fell.
But I'll take these. I'll take, you know, the 4-point streaks versus the 1. So hopefully
absolutely.
Keep that going.
20-8 now. New player in for the Tigers. Well, excuse me, that was Cervantes. Returning it long.
And that was just long, too. That's unfortunate. Didn't get any of the back service line.
Allie Wood serving for the Grinnell Tigers. Up the middle to Brown. Welsh going right at the block and throws one down for a point. (21-9) the score. Mary-Kate Frakes serving for South Tama. Lavender sends it back over to the South Tama side. Cervantes into the double block. It's a successful block there. Brown passes it over for South Tama. Big swing into the block from McClellan, and it falls on the Grinnell side. Point South Tama, 21-10 now. So the Trojans kind of find a little rhythm here late into the third. They got a long ways to go still, trailing by 11. Nice save there by Natalie Meek. Dove to the ground to save a point. Sends it over back to the Grinnell side. Smith on the attack. Return by Cervantes, and this one's way long. 22-10.
Yeah, just one of those situations where we had a good little stint going for us. Just a little bit too much antsy because they know it's a do-or-die situation, kind of forcing those mistakes.
22-10. Yeah, it's Caitlin Smith serving now for Grinnell. Kaylee Brown returns it back on the South Tama side. And Macy Welsh on the block. And the block point for Welsh and the Trojans. 22-10 the score.
Really strong net presence right now that South Tama's got going, and it's been helping.
Ashley Finch serving now for STC. Finch down the middle. Picked up by Smith. And the ball goes out of bounds there on the attack from Kayla Lavender.
Definitely a little bit too much heat on that one.
Finch right down the middle, right to Harms, the libero. There's a set, Lavender the kill, and it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Ashley Finch.
And she knew it was going to go out of bounds too, just with that expression on her face afterwards.
23-12. Final opportunities here for South Tama. Down 2-0. Kayla Lavender serves it. Mullen gets it back over to the Grinnell side. And a big shot there by Kendra Knowlton. We haven't seen too much from her at the front line, but had some mustard on that one, and that sets up set and game point.
Absolutely. Tough spot our girls find ourselves in, but hopefully can still stay alive, but window definitely closing.
Served by Lavender goes out of bounds, long. Point South Tama, 24-13. And here's Wells serving up the middle. And that will do it. The final point drops. Score in set number 3, 25-13. South Tama falls to 9-11. Grinnell will move to 3-13 overall. They get their first WAMAC win. South Tama will look forward to AGWSR on Tuesday. And make sure to stick around, folks. We're going to see about an interview with a South Tama player. I'm not sure who the coach is going to send us up here, but we're going to try and keep live for you here and get some thoughts.
I'll also have some unofficial stats here pretty soon. So.
All right, so we're going to go to a quick break. When we get back, we'll hopefully have a South Tama player or coach to talk to here and some stats from Hunter. So stick around with us. Welcome back to the post-game wrap-up here, live from Grinnell High School. Darvin Graham and Hunter White with you on the call this evening. It was all Grinnell here after a very hard-fought first set. South Tama kind of fell apart in the second and especially the third. The final set scores here in set number 1, it was 25-23. Set number 2 went to the Tigers 25-18 and then 25-13, although South Tama really didn't get their scoring going until Grinnell was nearly to 15 points. And so some kind of late scoring kind of evened things out, but a very unbalanced third set. So I'm going to throw it to Hunter. You can give us some unofficial post-game stats.
Absolutely. Some unofficial stats. I was very picky on what I considered a kill, a block, or a dig, just in my opinion. Just either the really big swings or whatever. So if they might be a little lower than what maybe they should be. But starting off, Keene was able to get 3 kills and 2 blocks. Frakes with 3 kills and 2 blocks as well. Beck able to get 2 blocks there. She was a big presence up on the front line, definitely. Mullen is our kills leader again with 5 kills and 2 blocks. She also ended up getting an ace and a service error and getting 2 digs out of that as well. Cervantes able to, who normally is on the hot side there from the left-hand side with her shots. She was able to get 4 kills and 1 block. Welsh ended up getting 2 kills and 3 blocks. Finch with a kill and 1 dig. Meek, our digging leader, definitely really shows why she's the libero on the group. She ended up getting 7 digs. And Mathless Henley with a dig as well. So far, strong showing, kind of what we expected from our girls tonight, at least from the losing standpoint. Yeah,
absolutely. South Tama hoping to kind of bring some of that momentum from last Tuesday into this week. They didn't. They were off on Saturday, so bit of a long layoff compared to most weeks where the Trojans are on the road and playing on Saturdays. So hard to say if maybe the time off played a role in tonight's showing against Grinnell. Definitely not a long road trip, but they get the loss here, and credit to Grinnell too. It wasn't just South Tama's deficiency. Grinnell looked pretty sound. I did not see too many spots on the court where they were falling apart or failing at any point. Hit or miss a couple here and there, but as far as 1 or 2 players or a position that seemed weakened or lesser on the Grinnell side, I didn't see that at all. And their hitters had some pretty good success. They located the ball well along the perimeter of the court and made it hard for South Tama to get to.
Absolutely.
Their hitters were swinging the ball pretty hard, and South Tama comes away on the wrong side of it tonight. They had a good opportunity, I'd say, with as far as height and athleticism matchup. They matched up pretty well. It wasn't like Grinnell had a bunch of 6-footers along the front line. They had opportunities there, but Grinnell was kind of the more sound team and executed a little bit better when it mattered. So they get the win this evening. They get their first WAMAC win of their conference history. So that's a nice moment for them as well. And South Tama kind of searching for their second one. And they're going to have a couple more opportunities in conference dual play. Next Tuesday, it'll be Vinton-Shellsburg. That'll be a home match. And then they go on the road for their regular season closer to Benton Community. So the competition, I think, will ratchet up a little bit with Vinton and Benton, but still games that could be winnable. I think we saw a pretty competitive first set. I think South Tama can hang with Grinnell, and you look back at Grinnell's record this season, they are able to get a win over Benton on a Saturday tournament, and they took Vinton-Shellsburg to 5 sets. And so definitely, you get the right team on the right night, and you never know. I think if South Tama can kind of try and crescendo their momentum as they go into the back half of the season here, there's an opportunity, but time will tell.
Absolutely. They got a lot of stuff done correctly, Grinnell did tonight. Very well executed on their shots. Harms and Knowlton was all over that backcourt there. I believe, from my count, they ended up getting a total of, I believe, like 6 or 7 aces to our 3. So, or 2, my bad. But still, they did an excellent job. Of course, we see, their win-loss percentage for the Tigers, 2-13, now 1-2 on WAMAC. So it's going to be one of those things where Grinnell, we caught them on a good night. They had a lot going for them. They were able to take that very competitive first set, able to add production on top of what they were already doing so well, and South Tama just wasn't able to perform. But still, if we can see him again for that rematch, I know we're going to play him just as hard as we did tonight.
Well, kind of looking at the teams that both of these schools have played, so maybe the tail of the tape is a little bit deceiving when you look at Grinnell's record. They get 2 wins, but we look at who they've played so far. So their losses have come against Fairfield, a 3A school, Carlisle, Urbandale, a 5A school, Center Point Urbana, and Vinton-Shellsburg in the WAMAC Conference. They lost to Dowling Catholic. I believe they were a state championship team over in 5A a year ago. Wahlert Catholic, Cedar Rapids Prairie, Iowa City West. So we're talking 4A, 5A schools. They lose to Benton, Iowa City High. So those losses are coming against much larger, higher kind of classed schools, whereas South Tama, their wins have come against a lot of 1A, single A, smaller teams over at that GMG tournament, the BCLUW tournament. And so kind of a different profile between these two teams so far. But it doesn't look like we're going to have a player interview here tonight. So we're going to sign off from Grinnell High School. Make sure to tune in on Thursday for volleyball at home, Friday for football over in Williamsburg, and Saturday for the home tournament from South Tama. We say thank you to our sponsors, Berkwood Village of Tama, Toledo, Salt Creek Wind, Mercy Care Tama, Iowa Premium, State Bank of Toledo, S&S Car Wash, Cruzy Phillips Funeral Home, Robbach Lumber, Stein Robbach Floor Covering, Medicap Pharmacy, Marquess and Hoyer Law Office, Appraisal and Realty Services, Assured Partners Insurance, Sharn Weber's, TFD Photo and Film, and all of our Trojan Country broadcasts made possible by the Charlie Townsley Memorial. All right, we're going to sign off. Everybody have a great evening, good night, and go Trojans.